Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. We'll just get right into it, and I will call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of June 15th, 2023. Mr. Liming, please take a roll call.
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state his or her name for the record?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department?
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department?
Amy Cording.
Inspectional Services Department?
Brian Mullen.
Water and Sewer Commission?
Denise Devlin.
And Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Dahlia.
We have a full quorum.
Thank you very much, Todd. All right, well, we have a very full agenda today, so we will get right into it, starting with the hearing minutes. So at the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on May 25th, 2023. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 25th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to utility pole hearing 1 on a petition by Eversource Energy for a utility pole installation within Soldiers Field Place Public Way, Brighton, to install one new private utility pole to be located on its southerly side, generally across from address number 44, southeast of Soldiers Field Road. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and provide a brief overview of the project, and then we will open up the floor to commissioners for questions, followed by any public testimony. We have a representative from Eversource on.
I'm scanning the attendees list. I don't see Katie on here yet. Why don't we move on to public hearing continued, and then after that action we can circle back to utility pole hearing.
That sounds great. Just let me know when we have the right folks on, and we'll pop back to it.
Ashley and I will try to keep an eye on that.
Excellent. All right, on to public hearing continued number 1 on a petition by the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lighting infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, street trees, landscaping, green stormwater infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. Calumet Street at Pequot Street / Darling Street, Pequot Street at Calumet Street / Darling Street, Darling Street at Calumet Street / Pequot Street. There's new business on 427, first public hearing on 511. Is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, Calumet Street at Pequot Street and Darling Street, Roxbury 15 sheets dated February 9th, 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and then we can open it up to questions.
Hey, good morning, Chairman, members of the Commission. My name is Jeffrey Alexis with the Public Works Engineering Division, petitioning for the specific repairs of the intersection of Calumet Square, Pequot, and Darling Street. I'm joined here by a design consultant for GPI, Michael Doobie, as well as Joe Johnson. Before I turn over to the mic, I just wanted to provide some background information on this project once again. As far as back as 2015, as recent October of last year, we received numerous constituent complaints regarding the safety of this intersection. Residents expressed that this area was heavily trafficked by pedestrians, that the crossings were inadequate. Currently, not only does this intersection lack accessible ramps, but the crossing distance is very long due to existing geometry in the sea of pavement. That may unfortunately allow for speed opportunities at this intersection. Residents also expressed that drivers regularly ignore the existing traffic signs posted, and given the concerns that the residents have raised, the recent crash history, the complaints that we received through our CRM service, as well as the senior housing that is abutting this intersection. We wanted to propose these improvements to address the concerns of the neighborhood, as well as the needs of the most vulnerable users who abut this intersection. With these improvements, we will not only improve accessibility and pedestrian safety at this intersection, but we hope to implement additional design elements like new lighting to improve visibility and green infrastructure to address potential heat island issues we tend to see in intersections like this one. As this is a continuation, we have been working with some of the residents in this neighborhood regarding some of the concerns that they had in regards to the proposed improvements. We have been working with them. We have looked at opportunities to make some changes to the design, which included reintroducing a parking spot that we did remove in order to provide more space for green infrastructure, as well as some elements that we are including for one of the property owners at this intersection in regards to their driveway. There are concerns about some of the snow removal, but we have been working with them, and we're hoping that the benefits of the safety benefits that we're proposing as part of this project kind of outweigh some of the negative aspects, which is the additional sidewalk space that may need to be plowed. With that, I'll turn it over to Mike to kind of get into more of the details.
Thanks, Jeff. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Mike Doobie with GPI. So as Jeff mentioned, this is a project at Pequot Street, Calumet Street, Darling Street, and West Roxbury. And this project is proposing to improve pedestrian safety and safety overall at this intersection by minimizing the sea of pavement, providing curb bumps that shorten pedestrian crossing distances, providing new cement concrete pedestrian ramps, sidewalks, green infrastructure with plantings and low ground cover, and then also new underground lighting infrastructure. As Jeff mentioned, we've coordinated with the public recently after the last public hearing to introduced a couple of minor changes to the project to address some of their concerns. One of their concerns was the limitations or the removal of parking spaces. So what we have done in order to accommodate an additional parking space is we've reduced this curb bump out on the north side of Pequot Street, shortening it up towards the intersection, providing an additional space here. So to give them back one more parking space at the intersection. And then another concern was related to this driveway at 49 Calumet Street in this corner here. We were previously just constructing up to the driveway, but through coordination with the property owner and future development that's proposed there, we've extended the sidewalk reconstruction. We proposed a new driveway curb cut so that the future development can be installed with our proposed bump outs and our intersection geometry. So those were the two changes that were made in coordination with the public at the previous, or since the previous public hearing, and these are the plans that we're proposing or moving forward with at this point. So I'll open up to any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? And I will just say, if there are members of the public who are interested in testifying on this, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, which you can find, I believe, under reactants, is that correct? But you should be able to find the button to raise your hand, and we'll call on you once commissioners have had a chance to speak. Commissioners? All right. Seeing no questions or comments from members of the commission, PIC staff, members of the public.
I will mention that we had a few pieces of written testimony that have come in over the past few weeks, but those have been passed on to the commission for consideration. I'll give the public another 15 seconds or so to try to find the raise hand function if they want. But PIC staff doesn't have any comments other than I understand the latest plans have been updated and we'll need a copy of those from the project team as soon as they're available. I see no raised hands. I think we're all set.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve a petition by the City of Boston Public Works Department for the making of specific repairs in Calumet Street, Pequot Street, and Darling Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to jump back in our agenda to utility pole hearing number 1, which I will reread on a petition by Eversource Energy for a utility pole installation within Sojourns Field Place, Public Way, Brighton, to install 1 new private utility pole to be located on its southerly side, generally across from address number 44, southeast of Sojourns Field Road. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what you're proposing to do?
Hi, good morning. My name is Katie Flaherty, and I'm going to share the screen to show you the plan. You should be able to share. Bear with me. I have to share. Oh, so I don't know which one is. Sorry, we're having trouble here. I'm trying to share a screen with the plan on it, and I'm not. I don't know. Sorry, you guys. Zoom just did some updates when Katie was trying to log in and we learned familiar screens to us. Jenna, I want to just share this.
And what happens when you do that? Going to have to
Okay. You can go ahead and proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Todd. So this is over here where the existing pole is now 3166/5. We want to relocate it across the street because of construction over here at 1500 Soldiers Field Road. The new pole would go right here with a hip guide as close to the fence as possible.
So the new pole is the proposed in red.
Is the guide pole existing?
It is not.
And that's on private property?
It's not on private property.
Oh, so the 1X pole is on private property. But we are gonna, that guy wire on there won't go. We'll put a hip guy on the proposed pole. So everything's shown in red right there. The pole will go in the sidewalk, and then there'll be a sidewalk anchor. The guy wire will be like overhead and then come straight down as opposed to at an angle on that pole.
But you're installing a guide pole on private property?
No, we're installing that proposed pole on public way on the sidewalk, I'm sorry. So pole 5, currently on the north side of the street, I believe we're gonna move it to the southerly side. And then that pole 5 will have a guy wire on it. And then the original pole 5 will come out once everything's moved.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, where does the guide wire go?
So the anchor will go as close to the fence as possible, but it'll still be within the public way, the back of the sidewalk, yeah.
So you're going to put 2 structures in the public sidewalk at this location, the pole and the guide pole. What's the dimension between those 2 poles?
So it's not going to be 2 poles, Amy. What it is there'll be a pole right out at the front of the sidewalk, and then the anchor itself is like a big, huge eye bolt. So that goes way down into the ground, and then just the loop of that bolt sticks up, and we'll have a guy wire. So at the top of the pole, we'll have like a straight bar coming straight out, and then the guy wire itself will just be the thin wire strand that'll come straight down and attach to that eye bolt, and that'll be right at the back end of the sidewalk. And there'll be about 5 feet between that guy wire and the pole, so it'll allow for any pedestrian traffic.
Think of like, and then 1 feet over here, and then 170 feet and then
Commissioners, any additional questions, comments on this?
When it's installed, is it possible to verify that dimension to ensure that it is indeed 5 feet?
That's why I want to the way that it is.
I mean, our survey group measured, and, you know what I mean, that's what they put on the plan. If you need us to measure it or mark it in the field before the actual installation, we can certainly do that.
And that's why this is a
I think that would be helpful just to get the infield conditions. I think sometimes the field is maybe a little bit different from what is on the plan, so we just want to verify that that dimension is preserved.
And can you just clarify why, like, I mean, this seems new for us, right? Like, we don't get a lot of these, right, like, sail masked guy pole situations. Can you explain why this happens here?
Yeah, so I mean, these are kind of all over the place. You don't really notice them. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, just here, we've never, right, like, where we approve these things, we haven't seen them in my memory of being here. So
Right.
why
So
can't we
basically,
put in a
like,
pole that supports this?
so if you look at pole 4 and pole 5 on this plan, they're kind of in a straight line on the same side of the street. So by moving that pole 5 across the street, we're actually creating an angle on the overhead lines attached to the pole. So because of the weight of any equipment or wires on the pole, that weight wants to pull that pole forward. So it's going to pull that pole toward the street. So by attaching that wire, that guy wire to the back of the pole, we're pulling the pole straight upright and holding it steady in place so that it doesn't lean or fall over.
I don't know, maybe the capacity is here.
So what I can do, if for the sake of not having to like reschedule and come back for another hearing or anything, if you guys could approve it just on the condition that we verify that footage and include that information with our street opening request before we set the pole, that way we meet your requirements, you're comfortable with the distances, and if for some reason it's not sufficient, we can circle back again, but at least we don't spend everyone else's time and delay any of the construction too by having to reschedule. If that makes sense.
Can I ask on the location of this? There appears to be, if I'm in the right place, there appears to be a tree located on private property just on the other side of the fence line. And I just want to kind of understand what putting an anchor adjacent to that tree is expected to do to the tree itself, and what kind of tree trimming would be required in order to accommodate this pole and this location.
So I'm looking at the photos you have. It doesn't look like the branches are really going to impede with where the anchor is going to go and the wire is going to go straight down. It looks like all the kind of leafy branches that extend off are going to be above that line. So it wouldn't be an issue there. And the eye bolt itself, the part that sticks into the ground, it's just a long, straight, thin rod. It's not like huge, so it shouldn't impede any of the tree roots or cause any problems like that.
How does that long, thin rod get attached to the sidewalk?
That would be more for an operations construction question. I can get those answers to you, but I mean, I've only seen them out.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think it's just that whatever's holding up a pole, right, like, is probably going some depth into the ground where we'll probably discover the roots of this tree.
Yeah, probably about 6 feet down, same as the pole, about 6 feet down, because obviously we don't want it to lean, we don't want it compromised. I mean, the only thing I can do here, Amy, is have somebody from operations kind of explain it, and I can get back to you with that. But I've only seen them when they're existing. I haven't seen the actual install to see how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we probably want to see that, especially if it's going 6 feet into the ground, right? Like, I think that we understand the poles, but this is something that, while I will believe it exists all over the place, we have not approved in recent memory. But yeah, I think that we stand to find the roots of that tree and go all the way through them if you're going to burrow 6 feet down. So I think understanding what this looks like on surface, and also understanding why we do kind of regularly have to relocate a pole to the opposite side of the street, and that has not required this particular guide method in the past. So like, is the different pole option, foundation option, or whatever that could kind of support. This is a very narrow sidewalk to put 2 things, one at the front of the sidewalk and one at the back of the sidewalk, and then have something that's run overhead that is going to be, bounding the whole sidewalk. I think it'd be nice to have clarity as to where your pole falls in relation to this tree. Just the same height, the opposite one across the street. It might be the perspective in this picture, but it looks like it's going to find its way into that tree. And the wires in particular seem like they will also. But the guy piece at the back will substantially impact the roots of this tree when you install it. It's on private property, and so I assume that you have reached out to these people because they're getting more of them. But yeah, I just think that we need to kind of understand what's happening here and why this type of pole is required where it's typically not what we've seen.
The other thing I can do is just have our engineer circle back and contact you guys at City Hall. Come right to PIC, we can have a discussion about it. I guess if that's the case, the best I could ask for is a continuance here as opposed, again, if we can approve it on the condition that these answers are satisfied and then not have to come back for another hearing, that'd be the ideal option. But if you need us to continue it, I don't have those other answers.
I think a continuance would be appropriate here. I mean, the questions are both about the mechanics of installation, but also about the appropriateness of the location and the impacts of that. So I would feel more comfortable if we continued until we could really unpack what this does to the trees and the shade canopy and answer the installation related questions here.
Okay. Can you just tell me your next hearing date? I don't have your calendar in front of me.
July 29th.
July 29th.
Sorry, June 29th, excuse me. June 29th.
All right, that sounds better.
I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. And we'll have answers before that, so we'll have this resolved before we come back for the next hearing.
Okay. Todd, we vote, I know I ask you this every time, we vote on continuance, that's correct.
All right, lost my mute button. Yeah, you can go ahead and pull the vote.
Excellent. Do I hear a motion to continue utility pole hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to continue utility pole number 1 as read and directed by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, so moved. We'll have some conversations and see you in a couple weeks.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, on to our next agenda item, public hearing number 1 on a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC for the acceptance of 2 pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in Boston proper: East Berkeley Street on its northeasterly side at address number 80 between Washington Street and Shaman Avenue, Shaman Avenue on its southeasterly side northeast of East Berkeley Street. There's new business on 511 as shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement 80 East Berkeley Street, South Bend, one sheet dated April 18, 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the petition and any changes since your new business hearing.
Yes, good morning. My name is Barbara Boylan. I am representing the Drucker 80 EB LLC with my joint venture partner, Beacon Capital Partners, Mike Loring. This is a project at 80 East Berkeley, and our team members here today are Niche Engineering, John Schmidt, Marissa Valentino, Goulston and Stores, David Linhart, and from Mikyoung Kim Design, Brian Chow. Since we last met with you, we have attended a public hearing on June 1st for the tree removal and have had a decision rendered on that the trees can be removed. So I'd like today, with your, on behalf of Drucker 80 EB LLC, turn it over to John Schmidt. This is a project that's approved through the Article 80 process, as you probably know, for ground floor retail and restaurants with life science office above. And I'll turn it to John. Thank you, Commissioner and Commissioners and Chairman.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm John Schmidt with Niche Engineering. The first action before you is the creation of the pedestrian easements, and easements are required in order to provide accessible access within the realm of the complete street guidelines. On Shawmut Ave, we are proposing a 2.4-foot wide easement that consists of approximately 279 square feet. And along East Berkeley Street, the easement is approximately 7 feet wide, consists of about 1,512 square feet. Any questions regarding this petition?
Commissioners? PIC staff, members of the public?
All set.
All right, seeing no hands raised, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC for the acceptance of 2 pedestrian easements in East Berkeley Street and Shawmut Ave, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 2, on a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, planters, landscaping, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. East Berkeley Street at address number 80, generally between Washington Street and Shawmut Avenue. Washington Street, generally northeast of East Berkeley Street. Shawmut Avenue, generally northeast of East Berkeley Street. New business from 511, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, East Berkeley Street, Shawmut Avenue, Washington Street, 80 East Berkeley Street, South End, 5 sheets dated May 4th, 2023. The proponents please reintroduce themselves and walk us through in brief this specific action.
Good morning, John Schmidt from Niche Engineering here on behalf of Drucker. So we have 3 streets that are all being reconstructed in order for the project to move forward, and they're being reconstructed in compliance with complete street guidelines. Along East Berkeley Street, we're proposing 8-foot wide concrete, accessible concrete sidewalk. Within the front of that, there'll be 7-foot wide pervious paver frontage zone that will include 6 new street trees and new street lighting and bike racks. There is also a pullover, as you can see in the center of the parcel, for vehicles to pull over and get out of the line of traffic to serve this building. There's also a 6-foot pervious section of pavement in front of the building, between the front of the building and the concrete sidewalk. By moving to the next street. On Shawmut Ave, Shawmut Ave will include 4 new street trees, as discussed earlier. There is an 8-foot wide concrete sidewalk, a 5-foot wide pervious paver along the frontage zone, 6 feet wide of pervious paver along the building face. We're also constructing 3 new street lights. And if you look across the intersection from East Berkeley Street, you can see how we're bumping out that intersection. So we're reconstructing the ramps at all 4 corners to provide a safe perpendicular access to the sidewalk. And then as we get to Washington Street will have a 12-foot wide concrete sidewalk and a 4-foot pervious frontage zone. We have 4 bike rack locations, 4 new street trees, and 3 new light poles, along with the conduit and pole boxes associated with that work. That's the extent of my presentation for specific repairs.
Commissioners, questions, comments?
Yeah, these guys did a ton with us to work on the ramps that are out here, and we have received that, and it's great. I think that we do have some lingering comments just about how the transitions and stuff happen. I do not want to slow this down or hold this up, but I will say that it will be contingent upon us just kind of finishing the ramp designs, and I will also defer to Sarah to say anything different from that. But yeah, I think it's substantially there. We just have some slopes and transitions that need to be worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we can finesse those designs with you prior to submitting the MyLars. Thank you.
Just to see, I may be misreading the plans, but are we moving the curb line on Washington Street?
We are not moving the curb line in Washington Street.
Okay, got it. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? EIC staff, members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Druger 80 EB LLC for the making of specific repairs within East Berkeley Street, Washington Street, and Shawmut Ave is read into the record by the chair, contingent upon the final design as approved by Commission for Persons with Disability and BTD.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, so moved.
Thank you.
On to public hearing number 3 on a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC for the granting of a projection license for the installation of canopies over portions of the sidewalk within Washington Street Public Way, Boston proper, located on its northwesterly side at the side of 80 East Berkeley Street, generally northeast of East Berkeley Street. New business from 511, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Canopy License Plan, Washington Street, 80 East Berkeley Street, South End, one sheet dated April 24th, 2023. The proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and give us a quick overview of this and any changes since your new business hearing.
Good morning, John Schmidt with Niche Engineering here on behalf of the Drucker Company. We are proposing 6 canopies along Washington Street, consisting of steel and glass. They are internally drained and heat traced. They're 10 feet or greater above the public sidewalk, and they project well below the allowable 2/3 sidewalk width. They project approximately 2 or 3 feet into the public way. Any questions?
Commissioners? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
Make a motion to approve a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC for the granting of a projection license in Washington Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for your work with the commission. On to public hearing number 4 on a petition by the Boston Water and Sewer Commission for the making of specific repairs within Harrison Avenue Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southeasterly side at address number 980, generally between Melnia Cass Boulevard and Thorndike Street, consisting of sidewalk reconstruction as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, and bollards. New business from 525, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, 980 Harrison Avenue, Boston, 3 sheets dated June 8th, 2023. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief overview of this project and any changes since your new business hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Liming, and members of the commission. My name is Nelson Piacenza. I'm from the Boston Water and Sewer Commission. I'm also joined from the Boston Water and Sewer Commission by Nina Negron and Wenli Ma. Also, our PMA consultants, Tony Oliva and Matthew Killen from Gale Associates Engineering. Matt, if you can just share the sheet 2 of 3 of the plans, and I'll give a brief overview, and then I'll turn it over to Matt to get into specifics. At the previous meeting on May 25th, Boston Water petitioned for specific repairs within Harrison Avenue, consisting of the addition of pedestrian safety bollards in the sidewalk at both the BWSC building's public and employee entrances. At that meeting, we requested to do the following. Provide an extension of the existing permeable paver feature on the sidewalk in the area of the repair of the asphalt patch, and to identify existing tree pits with a comment that we were to be protected and to remain. Since that initial presentation, we've also been asked to do the following. The Disabilities Commission, Sarah, had asked us to confirm the dimension of the concrete path between the planter and the extended permeable paver strip, and to verify that the 5-foot clear minimum dimension has been met. Tristan from Street Lighting requested that we add the scope to replace an existing metallic electrical handhold with one made of composite materials. All of these requests have been met, and I'll turn it over to Matt from our engineers from Gale to go over the specifics.
Well, good morning, everyone. So as we said, we extended the paver section here where this is an existing asphalt sidewalk. We're making that concrete, and we're extending the pavers here. I have labeled here 5'9", and 5'8" here is the shortest width of the concrete sidewalk. I did add a note here just to be sure that we maintain that minimum 5-foot clearance. But right here in the corner of the existing asphalt sidewalk, we have a metal frame and cover electric handhold that we are proposing to replace with a composite frame and cover. And then we have over here, we have the existing tree pits labeled to remain and be protected. So that is all we have for the comments, addressing the comments provided.
Commissioners, any questions, comments?
We just appreciate the team's willingness to incorporate our feedback. Thank you.
PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I will make a motion to approve a petition by the Boston Water and Sewer Commission for the making of specific repairs in Harrison Ave.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
On to public hearing number 5, on a joint petition by the Massachusetts Port Authority and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the widening, relocation, and extension of the existing right-of-way lines of New Cypher Street Public Way, South Boston, located between East Street and the South Boston Hall Road / Richard Street. New business from 525, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan. New Cypher Street Public Way, South Boston, 5 sheets dated May 19th, 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give a brief overview of the project and any changes since your new business hearing, and also provide us with an update on your intentions for how you'd like to proceed with this. I know there's been some conversations prior to this hearing about potential continuance. So please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Commission. My name is Louis Huang. I'm the Deputy Director of Programs and Environmental Affairs here at Massport. With me today is Larry Cash from MassDOT as co-petitioner. Thanks, Larry, for being here. What I'd like to do is to turn it over to Steve Farr from Niche Engineering to reintroduce the project scope. So Larry, can you take over?
Thanks, Nui. Steve Farr from Niche Engineering. Let me just share my screen. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
We can.
Okay, great, thank you. We'll start from the beginning. So this is the same presentation basically that we prepared and submitted at the, I think it was the May 25th meeting at PIC, New Business. This petition is going to reconstruct New Cypher Street, Richard Street, and Fargo Street in the Seaport District. And there are many partners in this effort: Massport, MBTA, MassDOT, the Convention Center in the City of Boston, but most importantly of all is the South Boston residents and businesses that are going to benefit from this project. This is the project team led by Niche Engineering. We have had several public hearings with the Seaport residents and neighborhood associations. These are some of those. The project, again, extends from Richard Street all the way across the South Boston bypass through Cypher Street, down E Street and Fargo Street. Today, there is no pedestrians allowed on New Cypher Street. There are no pedestrian facilities or bicycle facilities. People are walking in the street, as you can see in these photos. People are cycling adjacent to heavy truck traffic without any accessibility or accommodations at all. The proposed project will include accessibility for all modes of travel, new sidewalks, a 10-foot dual bike lane on the south side of New Cypher Street, new pedestrian and vehicle signals at the intersections of the South Boston Bypass Road, this is a visual of what that is going to look like, a new railroad track crossing, and again, new street lighting and pedestrian ramps at each of the locations. This is a view of Richard Street looking at the South Boston Bypass intersection. Again, narrowing the street and pushing the curb line out to facilitate the installation of a multi-directional bike path, 10-foot multi-directional bike path along the south side of Richard Street. We have again, several actions, widening and relocation actions at A Street, Richard Street, and New Cypher Street proposed, as long as specific repairs for those locations. However, the petitioners are going to ask for a continuance to June 29th, and maybe Nui wants to go into more detail about that.
Thank you very much. So as Steve mentioned earlier, we've had several community meetings in Massport, took over the project for MassDOT. 3 community meetings in particular, 1 in February and 2 in March. We have continued to engage the community. Since the new business hearing on the 25th of May, we have received additional comments from the community. So on behalf of Massport, we respectfully request continuance to the next business hearing on, I believe, the 29th, to allow for additional dialogue with the community.
All right, excellent. We certainly happy to grant that continuance, but before we do, we'll open it up to see first if there are any commissioner questions or comments that folks would like to ask at this time, and then whether there are any members of the public who would like to speak on this. If there are, please use the raise hand function to let us know. But commissioners, anything that you'd like to ask today?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have a point. Mr. Fa, can you put up your presentation? I just want to see if you can amplify a point of clarification. Basically, the travel lanes that are there on any one of the streets, are they remaining the same, or is there a disparity? Like right now, you got a lane in each direction. Are they remaining the same? Steve, you're muted.
Yeah. The travel lanes are remaining the same. I believe they are 11 feet travel lanes and 2-foot shoulders.
So the number of travel lanes are consistent between the existing conditions and the proposed conditions. Is that correct?
On New Cypher Street, the travel lanes are remaining the same. On Richard Street here, we are reducing the number of travel lanes in the westbound direction, or the direction coming towards us in this photo, to 1 lane, where today there is a left turn lane in that direction. So we are reducing it from a double lane to a single lane.
But Cyber Street is basically the same, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Just to follow up on that point, on Richard Street, has there been, can you just tell us a little bit about any work that's been done related to the Richards A Street signal and any analysis about the impact of that lane reduction and how that might flow through into signal retiming?
Yeah, so that intersection, which again, you can see the existing view here in the bottom left, and the signalized intersection would be behind us in this view. We are going to redo some of the signals and the timing and phasing of that intersection. We've worked closely with BTD to assure that the traffic will operate at an acceptable level of service. And I think we've satisfied all of their concerns and comments.
And what is the, kind of related to that, is that, do those signal changes incorporate phasing for bicycle movements? There's some bicycle facilities on A Street today that presumably will see some traffic connecting to and from this two-way bike path. And so how has that been phased into the design of that intersection?
That's correct. There is a current bike facility that goes north-south on A Street today, and this is going to make the connection between A Street and D Street, which also has a bicycle path. And the two signalized intersections, the one at A Street and the one at the South Boston Bypass, will have bicycle signals to facilitate that movement.
Okay, so there'll be some kind of separation to allow the sort of two-way facility to transition into the two separate one-way facility at each location without putting bikes and vehicles into conflict with one another.
Exactly.
Okay. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? PAC staff, members of the public?
Remind the public, if you wish to add testimony or ask questions, please use the raise hand function, which can be found in the reactions tab at the bottom of your screen. Give everybody a second or two. I see none. I think we're all set on this for now.
Okay. And just to confirm, I'm assuming with the Massport folks that you intend to continue on all of the items on the agenda related to this?
Confirm, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I think we will go through them one by one and just do kind of quick read and just, you can introduce yourselves and then just ask for the continuance and we can just turn through the list because there's a few of them here. So with that, do I hear a motion to continue public hearing number 5?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing number 5 as read into the record by the chair until June 29th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 6 on a joint petition by the Massachusetts Port Authority and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of A Street Public Way, South Boston, located on its northeasterly side, generally across from Richard Street, new business from 525 as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, A Street Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated May 19th, 2023. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know how you would like us to proceed on this.
Louis Huang, Massport Deputy Director of Programs and Environmental Affairs. On behalf of Massport and MassDOT, we request continuance to the next hearing on the 29th, please.
Do I hear a motion to continue public hearing number 6?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing number 6 as read into the record by the chair until June 29th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 7 on a joint petition by the Massachusetts Port Authority and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Richard Street Public Way, South Boston, located on its southwesterly side between Medallion Avenue and the South Boston Hall Road / New Cypher Street. New business from 525 as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Widening and Relocation Plan, Richard Street Public Way, South Boston, one sheet dated May 19th, 2023. Petitioners please introduce themselves and their affiliations and let us know how you'd like to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Louis Huang, Massport Deputy Director of Programs and Environmental Affairs. On behalf again of Massport and MassDOT, we request continuance to the next public hearing on the 29th.
Do I hear a motion to continue public hearing number 7?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing item number 7 as read into the record by the chair until June 29th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 8 on a petition by the Massachusetts Port Authority for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in South Boston, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, traffic signal infrastructure, street lighting infrastructure, landscaping, green stormwater infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, bollards, driveway curb cuts, protected bike facilities, and a raised crosswalk. New Cypher Street between E Street and the South Boston Hall Road / Richard Street, A Street generally at Richard Street between A Street and the South Boston Hall Road / New Cypher Street, Medallion Avenue generally at Richard Street, C Street southwest of New Cypher Street, D Street generally at New Cypher Street, E Street generally between New Cypher Street and Fargo Street between E Street and Summer Street generally at Fargo Street. New business from 525 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plans, New Cypher Street Reconstruction, Boston, 25 sheets dated April 27, 2023. Petitioners, please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know how you'd like to proceed.
Nui Huang, Massport Deputy Director of Programs and Environmental Affairs. Again, on behalf of Massport and MassDOT, we request continuance to the next meeting on the 29th. And thank you, Mr. Chairman and the Commission.
Thank you very much. Do I hear a motion to continue public hearing number 8?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing number 8 as read into the record by the chair until June 29th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for the time and for the consideration of the community feedback, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
All right, I'll slow down my reading a little bit here. On to public hearing number 9 on a petition by Stoneleigh Brookley LLC for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Stedman Street, private way open to public travel, West Roxbury, located on its northeasterly side at the rear of 10 Stoneleigh Road, southwest of Brookley Road. New business from 525, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Stedman Street, private way open to public travel, Jamaica Plain, 1 sheet dated May 12th, 2023. Petitioners, please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and let us know about any changes since your new business hearing.
Okay, this is Matt Hensey, development consultant on behalf of the petitioner, Stoneleigh Brookley LLC. And I did a little more project description back on the new business hearing on May 25. I'll be brief to respect the commission's intent to keep moving here. But just very briefly, this is a new construction home ownership project, 45 units, 4 stories, publicly supported through the City of Boston Mayor's Office of Housing and Mass Housing's Commonwealth Builder Program. We're really excited to get this project online. We're actually in the middle of the closing process. So we'll be closing financing and starting construction, hopefully, very, very soon, within the next month. And again, the end product will be 45 units, 100% affordable, with, it's actually also 5 artist live work units there. With respect to PIC and public infrastructure improvements, we have, I believe, a pretty extensive set of public infrastructure improvements, both in the public ways and private ways. We've had a great process with many members of the commission and many city agencies. Lots of feedback back and forth, and we think we've come out with a set of 3 plans. Public hearings number 9, 10, and 11. Not to skip ahead, but that is responsive to all the input we've had. So with that, and obviously if the commissioners want to circle back with any detailed questions, I am here. But with that, I'll pass it over to the civil engineer, Joe Oliveira, who has graciously already screen shared.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, as Matt described, it's a 45-unit apartment building, and to accommodate that, we're adding new sidewalks and curbs along Stoneleigh Road and Brookley Road. which are public ways, and also on Stedman Street, which is a private way. We are also including 12-inch pedestrian easements along Stomley Road and along Brookley Road to accommodate the new sidewalks. And we are also including a widening and relocation plan for Stedman Street, which is a private street, and that's to accommodate a slight realignment of the street and the new sidewalks. And then the last piece is a triangle at the intersection of Stomley and, let me get that for you. Triangle at the intersection of Stomley and Brookley, and that's narrowing that intersection with the concrete sidewalk triangle and new handicap ramps and the street tree. I'm glad to answer any questions.
Commissioners, questions?
We had one comment about coordinating with Active Transportation about the addition of speed humps here. We have put speed humps in this neighborhood, and we skipped this based on its trucking use, but with a different use, right? Like this should have the same traffic calming as the rest of the neighborhood.
Should I be responding to that as the proposer?
Well, so I mean, at New Business, I raised this as this was a zone that had speed humps. This area right in front of you was deliberately not done based on trucking uses, and so with this, we would like those missing speed humps to be added as part of this project. So that is the ask. The hope was that between the New Business and the public hearing that you would have coordinated with BTD about that. We can still do that, but the request is that you install the speed humps that we would have installed had this been this use at that time.
Yeah, that came up at the last hearing, and it was our understanding that that was a future project. We didn't realize that was already designed or drawn out. And then the other piece of that is that the proposal for this project actually does not include any roadway repaving. So we're maintaining the existing pavement as they are. We're just starting at the curb back.
Yep, and you can add speed humps to existing pavement. That's how we do it too. It's just that we weren't calming here because it was truck use, and now that it's not, it should have the same traffic calming as the rest of the neighborhood, so that we're not inducing speed at your new development.
Okay. Are you saying that the city will come back and install those, or are you asking the project to install those?
We're asking the project to install.
Okay. That wasn't clear last time. I got that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and you know, to be fair, this shouldn't be a big lift, right? Like it's really just the mounds of asphalt at a couple of key locations. It was just that we very specifically skipped this location, whereas it would have been included, so that now that it's you know, a residential situation, we would like that to come back.
Yeah, I don't think there will be any problem adding those. And we can work with BTD on the location.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, just quickly on detail, Amy, the one constraint I see is there is still existing truck use at the, I'm going to say west or south, if you will, of Stedman. There's a large site work facility, private company called JRF. They have large trucking vehicles that use Stedman and Brookley. So
yeah, and we expect trucks to traverse these too. It's more that the specific use of this site was so trucking heavy that we did not place them right here, and we would like to see them now that it is not just a wide open driveway for industrial use.
Understood.
But yeah, we put them everywhere, right? That trucks still have to go. It was just that we weren't in front of an industrial driveway until it stopped being there.
Understood. We will follow up with BTD on that. Apologies for not moving on it since the new business hearing.
Perfect.
Commissioners, other questions or comments? KC staff or members of the public?
No, I think we're all set with this widening petition.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 9?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Stonely Brookley LLC for the widening and relocation of Stedman Street as read into the record by the chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing 10 on a petition by Stoneleigh Brookley LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in West Roxbury: Stoneleigh Road on its southeasterly side at address number 10, southwest of Brookley Road on its southwesterly side between Stoneleigh Road and Stedman Street, new business from 525, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, 10 Stoneleigh Road and Brookley Road, Jamaica Plain, one sheet dated March 2023. Proponents, please reintroduce themselves and give us a brief overview of this specific action.
And Matt Hensey, a development consultant for the proposer, and I'm going to directly pass it over to the civil engineer, Joel Olivera.
Okay, yeah, just as this is Joel Olivera, civil engineer for 10 Stoneleigh Brookley Road. As we just previously discussed, this project involves a widening and relocation for Stedman Street. It's approximately 3 feet wide and on a plan that was submitted, revised yesterday.
We need the ped easements plan on this one, Joe.
Oh, you want to do that one first? Okay. My apologies. So project includes a pedestrian easement plan that calls for 12-inch easements along Stoneleigh Road and along Brookley Road, as well as a corner pedestrian easement at the corner of Stoneleigh and Brookley to accommodate the upper landing on a handicap ramp. Glad to answer questions.
Commissioners? PIC staff or members of the public?
All staff.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 10?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Stoneleigh Brookley LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easements in Stoneleigh Road and Brookley Road as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 11 on a petition by Stoneleigh Brookley LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following roadways in West Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, and driveway curb cuts. Stoneleigh Road at address number 10, southwest of Brookley Road generally between Stoneleigh Road and Stedman Street, Stedman Street, private way, southwest of Brookley Road, new business from 525, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, 10 Stoneleigh Road, Brookley Road, and Stedman Street, Jamaica Plain, one sheet dated May 16, 2023. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and give us a brief overview of these specific repairs and any changes since your new business hearing?
Okay, thank you again, and Matt Hensey for Stoneleigh Brookley LLC, and I'll pass it over to Joe Olivera, civil engineer. Joe, could you call up the specific repairs plan, please?
Yeah, should be sharing it now on your screen. So this is the widening and relocation plan for Stedman Street, which is.
Yeah, we want to see the specific repairs plan, Joe.
Oh, you want to see the specific repairs? Okay. We're talking about widening and relocation, correct?
No, there's specific repairs, public hearing number 11.
Oh, I thought we just did. I thought we did that 2 hearings ago.
Just following the sequence on the agenda. So
we might have put some specific repair conversation in the widening and relocation discussion, but we have not actually done the specific repairs item yet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So this is the specific repairs plan, and it includes new sidewalks and new curbs along Stoneleigh Road and Brookley Road, which are public. It also includes new sidewalk and curb line along Stedman Street, which is private. It also includes new handicap ramps, crosswalks, and a triangle which narrows the intersection of Brookley Road and Stoneleigh. It includes some new handicap ramps and a street tree. Glad to answer any questions.
I will just note that the previous discussion related to the installation of speed humps along Berkeley Road and in this general vicinity likely belonged in this hearing item. So just to confirm, is it correct that the proponents will work with the active transportation team to identify the appropriate locations for the installation of speed humps in this area as part of the project?
That's right. We'll reach out to William Moose and coordinate the location size.
I'll stick you guys in an email with the appropriate BTD folks right now and to get you started on coordination.
Great. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
One minor item, I believe the triangle, if I'm oriented correctly, the triangle that's being added is at the edge of the MBTA bus facility, or at that is the abutting property. Has there been any discussion with the MBTA about expectations for winter maintenance, shoveling, clearing of that pedestrian ramp? Are they aware of the change that's happening outside their facility?
Yeah, I'll take that. The normal distribution to public agencies and utilities included the MBTA. I did not get any replies back, and have documented a few attempts at outreach. So I'd like to continue, even just on an operational basis, to make some more solid contact with somebody that's in charge of the bus yard to go over those operational issues. Absolutely. So we can stipulate to that in the hearing resolution, but that's certainly what we intend to do.
Excellent. Well, we'd be happy to help facilitate that, and obviously, we fully expect the MBTA will fulfill their legal maintenance obligations on this space, but we also just want to make sure they know it's changing, and in case it has any operational implications for them.
Understood.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? PIC staff or members of the public?
No, I'll just ask that we settle on the location of these speed humps before submitting Mylars, and have those Mylars reflect the speed hump locations. And the PIC order will also include speed humps in the description of improvements.
Understood.
All right, hearing no other comments or questions, do we hear a motion to approve public hearing number 11?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Stoneleigh Brookley LLC for the making of specific repairs in Stoneleigh Road, Brookley Road, and Stedman Street, as read into the record by the chair, contingent upon final speed hump locations as proposed by BTD.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much, and thank you also for the willingness to incorporate the speed humps into this, in addition to this changing nature of this street into a residential area. There's also a daycare and a circus school on Berkeley Road, and I'm sure that the folks who use those facilities will appreciate having a calmer street. So appreciate you incorporating that into this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to public hearing number 12 on a petition by Roxbury tenants of Harvard Association for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, street trees, planters, landscaping, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. Huntington Avenue at address number 775, generally between St. Albans Road and Fenwood Road. St. Albans Road, generally between Huntington Avenue and Mission Park Drive. New business from 525 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan, 775 Huntington Avenue, St. Albans Road, Public Way, Mission Hill, 4 sheets dated June 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and any changes since your new business hearing.
Hello, I'm John Hedman with Niche Engineering, and with me is Peter Molback. I think Peter's going to give a brief introduction of the project.
Sorry, I just had to figure out how to get off mute. So Peter Munkenbeck is my name, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This project, as you can see from the picture, is over 100 units of housing, 75% of which will be affordable. It is proposed by the entity, the Roxbury Tenants of Harvard, that also is responsible for the buildings that you saw in that last plan that are off to the left. They own about 1,000 units in this neighborhood, and this will bring the number to over 1,100. And you're seeing now 3 different renditions of the property, as well as different perspectives on it from Huntington Avenue. It's located between the old Farragut School, which is now the Kennedy Allied Health School, and on the right and on the left is a 3-story historic apartment house, also owned by the Roxbury Tenants of Harvard. And all of the abutters behind it and around it, except for the school, are on Roxbury Tenants of Harvard property. This proposal has gone through many iterations before landing on this one. This is the one that we feel accommodates, or that we understand accommodates all of the concerns and comments about the different agencies that are invited to comment on specific improvements. And it does explicitly agree, we are explicitly agreeing to solve one of the challenges that has been posed in the review, which is the Blue Bikes challenge, in a separate and subsequent action before the PIC, because it has not yet been possible to identify a location that meets the expectations of all of the commenting parties with regard to Blue Bikes. But the rest of the proposal, I think, is intact, and Jonathan will walk through the 2 perspectives, or the 2 plans on this one being the one right out in front of the apartment house. Jonathan?
Yes, so I'm Jonathan Headley with Niche Engineering. First, I'll start with Huntington Ave. We originally had new business on May 25th. So this project follows the complete streets guidelines. We have a 6-foot pedestrian zone, a 3.5 pervious paver zone, 2 new street trees, maintaining 2 existing street trees, and we're also installing bike racks. From the last meeting, we had conversations with BWSC, and they had us remove one of those street trees because of conflicts with the existing combined sewer within the area. We are maintaining the curb alignment with the new granite curb. And any questions?
Commissioners, questions?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to the team for meeting with us and making that change.
No problem. Moving on to the driveway reconstruction. There's an existing driveway that we're reconstructing with new bullnose curbs. We are maintaining a 5-foot pedestrian access and maintaining the curb alignment. Any questions?
Are there any other additional elements you're showing, or is this the conclusion of the specific repairs presentation?
That is the conclusion.
All right, commissioners, anything else? PIC staff, members of the public?
Peter, you may have mentioned this. If you did, I apologize, but can you just clarify that the project will potentially return to PIC in the future once the Blue Bike Station location has been established, if you need, curb work or anything like that?
Correct. If we find a Blue Bikes location that is consistent with the existing streetscape and does not require any alterations, we will not be back. But if we do encounter the need to change anything that is within the jurisdiction of the commission, we'll be back.
Perfect. Thank you.
I would just get rid of the note that says proposed street tables and chairs.
Duly noted. That will be updated with Mylars.
Yeah, that's a leftover. We did get rid of them based on earlier comments.
They're not there, yeah, it's just the note.
All right, hearing no other questions or comments, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 12?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Roxbury Tenants of Harvard Association, Inc. for the making of specific repairs in Huntington Avenue and St. Albans Road as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 13 on a petition by Roxbury Tenants of Harvard Association, Inc. for the installation of a canopy over a portion of the sidewalk within Huntington Avenue Public Way, Roxbury, located on its northerly side at address number 775, generally east of St. Albans Road. New business from 525, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, License Plan 775 Huntington Avenue, Public Way, Mission Hill, one sheet dated June 2023. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and give us a brief reintroduction to this specific action and any changes since your new business hearing?
Yes, I'm Jonathan Headland with Niche Engineering on behalf of the petitioner. We are proposing a 1.6 foot projection into the public right of way. This is well above the 10-foot minimum requirement from sidewalk clearance. It will be internally drained and heat traced.
Commissioners, any questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this one.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 13?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Roxbury Tenants of Harvard Association, Inc. for the installation of a canopy on Huntington Ave as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
On to public hearing number 14 on a petition by One Post Office Square LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Pearl Street, Public Way, Boston proper, located on its northeasterly side at One Post Office Square, southeast of Milk Street. New business from 525, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Easement Plan, Pearl Street, downtown, one sheet dated June 5th, 2023. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief reintroduction to this proposed action and any changes since your new business hearing.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nate Cheel. I'm a civil engineer with Tetra Tech. With me today is John Wild on behalf of One Post Office Square ownership, and Courtney Sudak, who's also with my office. I will share my screen. And hopefully you can see my screen at this point.
We can.
We are proposing a variable width surface pedestrian easement along Pearl Street. Since new business, we've adjusted the easement slightly in conjunction with BPDA and Sarah Leon with the Disabilities Commission. The easement's being provided because the existing street furniture that's out there today does not provide a clear pedestrian path within the public way. So we have proposed what I said is a variable width easement. It is approximately 9 feet along the Milk Street end, and it comes down to about 7 feet on the southeast side. I'll share my PIC specific repair plan just to show, I think, a little bit better why the easement's necessary. As you can see on this plan, there's existing street furniture that exists today that will remain. And with that furniture, there's not a clear path through here on the public way. So we've provided this 8-foot minimum path coming back across the front of the property. And that allows for a clear 8-foot path of standard concrete for pedestrians to use. If there's any questions on the easement, I'd be happy to answer them.
Commissioners? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 14?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by One Post Office Square LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Pearl Street as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 15 on a petition by One Post Office Square LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, irrigation infrastructure, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. Pearl Street generally at One Post Office Square, southeast of Milk Street between Pearl Street and Oliver Street / Kilby Street, Oliver Street southeast of Milk Street / Kilby Street generally at Milk Street / Oliver Street. New business from 525 is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division. Specific repair plan, Milk Street, Pearl Street, and Oliver Street public ways, 2 sheets dated June 5th, 2023. The proponents please reintroduce themselves and give us a brief overview of the specific repairs.
Good morning again. Nate Shield with Tetra Tech, civil engineer for the project. With me is Don Wild from representing One Post Office Square ownership, and Courtney Sudak, also from my office. Just to orientate folks, One Post Office Square fronts on Pearl Street, front door is located here, also frontage on Milk and Oliver Street. I will start with specific repairs proposed for Pearl Street. Currently, Pearl Street is all granite pavers. We're proposing to come in and remove granite pavers and provide a standard concrete path that fits within the easement. Since new business, we have had a meeting with BPDA and incorporated a furnishing zone paver strip. That strip, again, it's essentially not passable by pedestrians, so we have the 8-foot wide easement behind the furnishing zone. Along Pearl Street, we're maintaining the existing street lights and we're maintaining the existing street trees. We will be replacing the metal handholds associated with the street lighting. We will be accommodating a seasonal relocation of blue bikes. During the summer, they're out on the street, but during winter months, they can be moved up onto the sidewalk. We're reconstructing the handicap ramp at all sides of the intersection of Milk and Pearl. On the project side, we will be providing a bump out to accommodate the handicap ramps. Along Milk Street, we'll be replacing the existing sidewalk with standard concrete. Should have mentioned for Pearl Street, all the joints will be saw cut. We are providing, I believe, 3 new street lights along Milk Street, maintaining an existing street light. At the intersection with Oliver Street, we'll be constructing another bump out on the project side. We'll be reconstructing all the handicap ramps around the project, or around this intersection, and wrapping around onto Oliver Street. Again, we'll be reconstructing the sidewalk standard concrete with stock cut joints. We are proposing 1 new curb cut for access into a South Park facility. We'll be using a full nose entrance. The sidewalk will stay up at grade, so there'll be no dip down for the pedestrians using the walk. We'll be maintaining an existing curb cut for exit from the garage and access to a loading zone. We'll be maintaining 2 existing streetlights and providing 2 new streetlights. Also in this area, there's an island that exists at the Milk and Kilby Street. We'll be reconstructing a curb along the project side and providing a new concrete sidewalk with ramps, reconstructing ramps on each end of the island, and also on the corner over here, we'll be providing new accessible ramps. Since new business, we've also had some discussions with Boston Water and Sewer. There's a number of catch basins around the project that don't have gutter mouths. A lot of them are falling near these new ramps that we're proposing. So as we complete the ramp design, we will be meeting in the field with Boston Water and Sewer to determine which catch basins are feasible to get a new gutter mouth in on, and then we'll resubmit a site plan to Boston Water and Sewer for their approval. We've also been asked to provide the don't dump plaques at these various catch basins, which we'll do as well. So I think that wraps up my planned presentation for the specific repairs, and happy to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Commissioners?
Nate, sorry. Nate, I forgot to mention this at the new business hearing. The little island that is there between the two Kilbys, triangular island. Are you happy with the way how it looks in comparison to your amazing project? I've lost track of it. I think it may need attention. Are you happy with the way it looks?
I think it'll look much nicer once we get a sidewalk in there, but I mean, at this point, we're not aware of what the plans are for this.
Yeah, the triangle, because I feel like, we are running out of people. Everyone seems to be chopping up the area, and that triangle has seen better days. If you can give some thought to it. I'm not asking for it, but I have a feeling you will have an amazing sidewalk treatment on your side of the project, but that leftover triangle, and I hope you know what I mean by the triangle. It's between the two Kilbys and okay. It's an awkward location.
Agreed.
And give some thought.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I confirm, I know that the streets policy and planning team, the active transportation team, has been working on a bike lane project that incorporates Milk Street. Has this design been coordinated with them in that planning effort?
Yes, we've worked quite diligently with William Moot on all the elements of these ramps and what's happening with the bike lane. Actually, at this point, William has asked that we don't stripe, that we restripe Milk Street as it exists today, just because they're not 100% with their design, and they've let us know that, but we have worked extensively with William and actually Sarah as well in arriving at this design.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that coordination. I would just ask that it continues even after you're through the PIC, just to make sure that things are sequenced and striped appropriately depending upon the relative progress of that project and your work.
Yes, we will do that.
Thank you.
I think on that note, we just want to recognize the team in working with myself as well as William Moose and the BPDA on this design as for this intersection as well as the intersection on Pearl Street in accordance to the layout of the ramps and the materiality as well as the pedestrian easement, and thank the team for incorporating our feedback.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other comments, questions? PIC staff, members of the public?
No, I think we're all set on this.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 15?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by One Post Office Square LLC for the making of specific repairs within Pearl Street, Milk Street, Oliver Street, and Kilby Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, that concludes the public hearing section of our agenda, and on to our new business. We have three items all from the same petitioner, and we will start with new business number 1, Beacon Street, Boston proper, city shadow rental on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions Incorporated. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and what you are proposing to do with the shadow conduit?
Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
We cannot see your screen, but we can see you.
You can't see the screen. Okay, let's try this.
Much better.
Nice. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Herb Bertoni from Cambridge Network Solutions. I am petitioning to lease city shadow conduit at these 3 locations within the city. We'll hit new business number 1, first of all, on Beacon Street. It is 1,080 feet from an existing TCS manhole to another TS manhole along Beacon Street. So we are looking to tie in from Berkeley at Beacon to Beacon at Bremer in the existing cable TV system. So that's where we're looking to lease.
Commissioners, any questions? PIC staff, members of the public?
Nope, all set on this. Just obviously super excited to have anybody renting City Shadow, let alone multiple sections.
Indeed, to echo that, every time we're not cutting and trenching in our streets is a great thing. So we're very appreciative of the work to plan this out in the way that you've done it. So hearing no other comments, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on June 29th?
Yes, we will.
All right, well, we will see you then.
Okay, great, thank you.
On to new business 2, Huntington Avenue, Louis Prang Street, Roxbury City Shadow Rental on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions Incorporated. Could the presenters please reintroduce themselves and give us an overview of this action?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Herb Bertoni from Cambridge Network Solutions. We are looking to lease, let's see, this is number 2, approximately 1,680 feet of conduit. Let me get to that one. Show you. So there's 2 pieces here. So it's 1,680 feet total along Huntington Ave from Evans Way to Museum Road, and then coming back from Museum Road in the cable TV system going up Louis Prang, existing private handle. So I have it broken down into, it's new business too, but it's, one's in the cable TV system and one's in the Verizon Business System from here to here. So we're going to place a couple of handholds here to tie the systems together. And once we get it approved through the city, we can move forward and place cable.
All right, commissioners, questions, comments? All right, PAC staff?
No, we'll just have you combine these plans into one single plan set for the public hearing, Herb.
Will do.
All right, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks for this one as well. And last but not least, new business number 3, East Street, South Boston, City Shadow Rental on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions Incorporated. Would the presenter please reintroduce himself and affiliations and let us know what you're looking to do here.
Okay. Again, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. Herb Bertoni from Cambridge Network Solutions. We are looking to lease 134 feet of city shadow conduit from pole number 5 on E Street to a proposed new CNS handhole on Fargo at E Street in the existing cable TV system, as shown on this screen.
Any questions? KC staff?
All set.
All right, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks on this as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right. Bye. All right, with that, we're at the end of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you all in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.